Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Sodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Janna Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahansa Prabhupada Asadars of the Srimad, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Vananta Guru Vaishnava Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Prem Sikha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Saraswati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Maya Purnav Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Maya Ki Jai, Jamuna Maya Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Go Premanandi. All glory to some devotees, all glory to some devotees, all glory to some devotees, all glory, Shishi Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we're reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. There's a mistake.
Second line, the M in Bhagavatam, supposed to have a dot over it, but luckily it doesn't change pronunciation at all because it's supposed to sound like an M. So the next word you need to repeat. So don't worry about it. That is a mistake.
Okay. So this morning we're reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, Prahlad pacifies the Lord with prayers. Text number 8. Shri Paradu Vacha Ramadaya Suragana Munayo Ta Siddha Satvaikanthana Gatayo Vachasang Pravahai Naradhitum Puru Gunar Athunapi Pipru King Toshtum Arhati Sa Me Harir Ugra Jatahe Sri Paradu Vacha. Now is this the Govinda prayers?
Yes.
Brahmandaya Saraganam Munayota Siddha Satvaya Katana Gatayo Vajasang Pravahai Naradhitum Puruganar Arunapi Pipruhu Kim Tostum Arhati Same Har Ugrajate Brahmadaya Saraganam Manayota Siddha Sadvaya Katana Gatayo Vajasang Pravai Naradhitum Purgana Arinapi Pipru Kintostum Arhati Same Her Ugrajate Brahmadaya Saraganam Manayota Siddha Sadvaya Katana Gatayo Vajasang Pravai Naradhitum Purugana Arinapi Pipru Kintostum Arhati Same Her Ugrajate Bhakti Brad, you want to give it a try? Chad. Brahmadaya Sarganam Siddha Sadvaya Ganagadiyo Vachasam Pravai Narajum Purugana Dunapi Pipru Yuntos Tamara Disame Bhagavate Sri Paradu Vacha. Prahlad Maharaj prayed. Brahma Adaya, headed by Lord Brahma, Suraganaya, the inhabitants of the upper planetary system, Muniya, the great saintly persons. Ata, as well, like the four Kumaras and others. Siddha, who have attained perfection or full knowledge. Sattva, to spiritual existence. Ekatana gatayaha, who have taken without diversion to any material activities. Bhajasam, of descriptions or words. Pravahai, by streams. Na, not. Araditum, to satisfy. Puruganai, although fully qualified. Adhuna, until now. Api, even. Pipru, were able. Excuse me. Kim, whether. Toshtum, to become pleased. Arhati, is able. Sa, he, the Lord. Me, my. Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Urgajate, who am born in an Asuric family. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Prahlad Maharaj prayed, how is it possible for me, who have been born in a family of Asuras, to offer suitable prayers to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Even until now, all the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, and all the saintly persons could not satisfy the Lord by streams of excellent words, although such persons are very qualified, being in the mode of goodness. Then what is to be said of me? I am not at all qualified. Purport. A Vaishnava who is fully qualified to serve the Lord still thinks himself extremely low while offering prayers to the Lord. For example, Krishnadas Kaviraj, the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, says, Jagai madhai hoite muni se papishta. Purishera kita haite muni se laghishta. Chaitanya Charitamrita 5:205. Thus he considers himself unqualified, lower than the worms and stool, and more sinful than Jagai and Madai. A pure Vaishnava actually thinks of himself in this way. Similarly, although Prahlad Maharaj was a pure, exalted Vaishnava, he thought himself most unqualified to offer prayers to the Supreme Lord. Mahajano yena gata sapanta. Every pure devotee or Vaishnava should think like this. One should not be falsely proud of his Vaishnava qualifications. Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore instructed us to nadapi sinichena taroriva sihistana amanina manidena kirtanaya sadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. Unless one is meek and humble, to make progress in spiritual life is very difficult. Om Jnana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Kotavachalang Pangam Manghayate Garim Yat Kripa Taraham Bande Shigurum Dinataranam Vanchakalpa Chivishcha Kripa Sindhuvyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada was speaking about this verse one time, and he said, Prahlad Maharaj said to the demigods, how can you ask me to offer prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev? I'm from a chili father.
Chili?
Yeah. He gave the example that those in the mode of ignorance, they like chilies. Yeah. I hope no one's offended. Those in the mode of passion, they like salty foods. And those in the mode of goodness, they like sweet foods. So Prahlad said, my father, he's from a chili father. How can I offer prayers to the Lord?
Where did he say that, the chili father then?
You can find it on...
It's in the Sanskrit or it's another?
no, I don't think it's in
The
this.
lecture Prabhupada's giving.
Yeah, it's probably given a lecture. I don't know if there's a word in Sanskrit that says chili. So, of course, this is the humility of Prahlad Maharaj, as we're hearing here. Prabhupada says in a purport that the ultimate level of humility that you'll find is that in the pure devotee. Because the pure devotee, he understands how insignificant he is. He's a spirit soul, very small. God is so great, it's supreme spirit soul. So, this is the position of a pure devotee. Very, very humble, as we're hearing here. Krishnadas Kaviraj, he felt himself lower than a worm's stool. Anybody that chants his names loses all pious credit. Very humble, and he was probably, he was one of the greatest Vaishnavas on the planet at that time. And Prabhupada mentions in a purport that there's different devotees that have different qualities that stand out within these devotees. Sanatana Goswami had humility. He's very humble. He was a minister. Him and Rupa Goswami, they're both ministers. I think Prabhupada said Rupa Goswami was the chief minister, and Sanatana Goswami, he was the finance minister. Oh, so they were ministers, and but they gave it up, and they lived under different trees in Vrindavan, and sometimes it's very cold in Vrindavan. Sometimes it's very hot in Vrindavan, but they were living under different trees, and Kalpavriksha trees. Yeah, yeah. Of course, these are Kalpavriksha trees, and these aren't ordinary devotees, so maybe trees would keep them warm and keep them cool in the summer times. Very, very qualified, but very humble. Sanatana Goswami went to Lord Chaitanya, and he said, people consider me very intelligent, very scholarly, but Kayami, I don't know who I am. Who am I? Yeah. So intelligent, but he was so humble at the same time. So this is the position of a devotee, humility, and tolerant also. Haridas Thakur, he was the devotee that was the best at being tolerant. The Muslims, they wanted to kill him, but he wouldn't stop chanting. He said, you could tear my body to pieces, I'll still be chanting. So very tolerant, and they were beating him. And Lord Chaitanya, he wanted to come and kill them. But what was Haridas Thakur doing? He was praying for the deliverance of the people that were beating him. Tolerant and compassionate. See, if you're not tolerant, you can't be compassionate. So tolerance is so important. Titikshava, karunika, yeah, tolerance, compassion. So this is Haridas Thakur. Ramananda Roy, he was known as completely transcendental, completely transcended sex desire. You know, he would arrange dramas, and would also teach the people that were in the drama. And sometimes he would touch the private parts of the girls, and it's described, it was like touching wood. Because what it is just dead matter. It's just dead matter. But so he was so transcendental, it was just like touching wood. Yeah. So transcendental. And then Damodar Pandit, he was known as he who could constructional criticize. He could help devotees. He went a little bit too far one time. Lord Chaitanya, there was one young boy who was coming and seeing Lord Chaitanya every day, and Lord Chaitanya liked him, and the boy liked Lord Chaitanya, and every day he would come. But he was the son of a lady who was a widow. So Damodar Pandit said to this boy, "Don't go see Lord Chaitanya anymore, please." But the boy wouldn't listen to him, so he'd still go and see Lord Chaitanya. And then he was so bold. He went to Lord Chaitanya and said, "My Lord, you're transcendental, but this boy, he's the son of a lady who's a widow, young lady, attractive lady. So people are going to talk." So it's described that Lord Chaitanya thought, "Oh, this Damodar Pandit, he's my friend," because he's correcting me. He's trying to help me. But then he decided to send him to Navadvip and take care of his mother. And then when the devotees knew that he was in Navadvip, everybody took very special, make sure everything they did was proper. Otherwise, he's going to come down. So, yeah, these are different devotees that were expert in different qualities. So, also it's stated in the nectar of instruction, Vacho vegam manasakroda vegam, jiva vegam mudapasta vegam, etan vegam yo visahetadira, sarvam agrabam pridiving sasis yat. That one was able to control the urge to speak. So this is another qualification of a devotee. What are they? Actually, devotees are grave. They're silent, as Sri Prabhupada says, they're silent, but because they only speak about Krishna. Vacho vegam, they're controlling this urge to speak. We speak about Krishna. No nonsense. Yeah, just like when Lord Chaitanya was speaking to Raghunath Das Goswami, he asked Lord Chaitanya, "What is my duty?" Of course, he didn't speak to him personally. He would have, what's his name? Sruv Damodar. He would always speak to him through him. He was so humble. What is my duty? He said 8 things. Don't eat very palatable foods. Don't eat rich food. Simple. Eat simply. Yeah. Don't dress very opulently. Yeah. Of course, as devotees, we have... that's an easy one. And also, we have vegetarian diet, so that's another easy one. Although sometimes it can be pretty rich, cheesecakes and this and that, and rich sweets, birthday cakes, yeah. Lasagna here and there. So, and then he says, one would not hear what the ordinary people hear. Prabhupada said, don't read the newspapers. It's all bad news. It's all bad news. No one is inspired. Although there was one devotee, he had just gone through a divorce, and he was watching the news, and it was inspiring to him. Because he saw so many people suffering in different ways. Well, at least I'm not suffering that bad. So made him feel not quite as bad as he was feeling. But a devotee, when he hears others suffering, it gives pain, actually. So, yeah, Prabhupada said we shouldn't read newspapers. Bad news. We have so many nice books to read. So many nice things to hear. We have ISKCON Desire Tree, so many different lectures, hundreds of different devotees to hear from. So it's a great opportunity. That's one big advantage of this high technology, the internet. We could hear again and again and again and again. So many different devotees. No, he says also, don't speak like the ordinary people speak. So if we're hearing from devotees, we're hearing from Krishna, then we'll also speak what we hear. Whatever comes in will also come out. So we have to hear nicely Krishna consciousness, and then whatever we hear in Krishna consciousness, it'll come out like that. And then he says, don't desire respect from others. That's a tough one, because as conditioned souls, we like to be honored. We like to be respected. Offer all respects to others. Don't desire respect for oneself. Always chant the holy name of Krishna, and within your mind always serve Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. These are the 8 instructions that Lord Chaitanya gave to Raghunath Das Goswami. So this way we control the speech. Vacho vegam manasa krodha, who's able to control the urge to speak, the mind's demands. That's a tough one also, the mind's demands. The mind is demanding so much. But we have to control the mind. We have to control the senses. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam. And anger. If we're frustrated in sense gratification, then what happens? Anger. What is it? The little brother of desire? Yeah. If we're frustrated in our desires, satisfying our desires, we become angry. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udapasta vegam. Etan vegam yovasahetadira sarvami pulang prativing, who's able to control the urge to speak, the mind's demand, anger, tongue, belly, and genitals. Such a person is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So to control the mind, to control the senses, very difficult. To engage the senses in the service of Krishna, very difficult. What is it? One who engages his senses in the service of Krishna. What's that verse? Rishikena, Sevana Sarvapari Tatpradvena Nirma. The one who engages his senses in the service of Krishna, he actually transcends. He's very pleasing to. Krishna has senses. He's got a mind also. He's got senses. So if we please Krishna's senses, then we advance very quickly. Just like Prabhupada said, that if you dance before Krishna, 3 auspicious things happen. You become light. Light. Yeah. You become free of the modes of nature, and you develop your love for Krishna. Well, 2 things. The modes of nature are heavy. So if we become free of the modes of nature, we become light. We become pure. Without them. Also, you lose weight. Yeah, you dance before the Lord, you lose weight. Exercise. Right? So then, and we develop our love for Krishna. I heard that in a lecture, and I thought, wow, just do those 3. We develop our love for Krishna. All right, I'm going to do more dancing now. I had a little trouble with my left foot, but still I try to do as much dancing as I can. Yeah, you can move sideways, that's also, right? Go forward, backwards, sideways. So, yeah, Krishna, he has eyes, he can see. He sees us dancing, he's very pleased. He has ears, he can hear everything. but he doesn't have to have ears to hear everything. Therefore we say, Angani yasya sakalendri ritimanti, that all his senses perform all the functions of the other senses. But the atheists, they can't understand that you're making an offering before the Lord, and it's still there after it's offered, so how did he eat it? They can't understand that God, he can relish just by seeing. So this is Krishna. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, just like it's stated in the Bhagavatam that he has no legs, but he moves everywhere. He has no ears, but he hears everything. He has no mouth, but he speaks. In other words, he doesn't have material legs. He doesn't have material ears. He doesn't have a material nose. Everything is spiritual, completely spiritual. His body is spirit, spirit soul. His body is a spirit soul, but it has form. Most beautiful, most attractive form. People like to have attractive form. Therefore, the men, they work out, get strong, try to get beautiful bodies. Just like we used to have the gym across the street, and they would, they'd work out, try to look very attractive, but no. Or the women, they try to keep the thin belly, and try to look very attractive. Makeup, all kinds of makeup, and lipstick. And I read somewhere that the average woman, they eat about 4 pounds of lipstick in their lifetime. It's probably not too healthy, lipstick. But they do this to look attractive. But Krishna, he doesn't have to do anything to look attractive. He's always attractive. Just like people, they put jewelry on to look attractive. But jewelry doesn't make Krishna look more attractive. Krishna makes the jewelry look more attractive. There's only one thing that makes Krishna look more attractive, and that is Radharani. And she's also the most beautiful female. So by taking to Krishna consciousness, we also become attractive. Just like Prabhupada used to say that these boys that you have, the priest would say, these boys that you have, they were our boys, and they weren't interested in God at all. But now they're bright-faced. Now they're bright-faced. Yeah, so they were appreciated. The devotees taken to Krishna consciousness, they're bright-faced, effulgent. Prabhupada said you would see the devotees, dressed with tilak and dhoti and kurta. It's like they came from Vaikuntha. He was so happy to see. There was one time there was an interview with Prabhupada, and the interviewer asked Prabhupada, why are your followers, why are they all wearing these unusual looking clothes? And Prabhupada said, I didn't tell them to. But naturally, when there's a leader, everybody likes to follow the leader. I mean, he didn't mind the devotees wearing pants and coat. And he even said one time, the Vaishnava dress looks a little unusual. So better go in a Western dress in some circumstances, he said. So he didn't mind. Even when Prabhupada went to India the first time after being in America, he went with Kirtananda, and what was Kirtananda wearing? A wool suit. A wool suit in the summer. In Vrindavan. He wanted him to wear that. He looked like a respectable gentleman. So he liked that. So, but of course the Vaishnava dress is also nice. I remember quite often I go traveling with a Vaishnava dress, and people say, oh, Hare Krishna. And sometimes people come and give a donation. Do you have any books? So there's that positive aspect also. So yeah, the humility of Prahlad Maharaj, the qualities of Prahlad Maharaj is just, I mean, he's such an amazing devotee. His father tried to kill him in so many ways, but he was always just tolerant and taking shelter of Krishna, meditating on Krishna. Rakhi Krishna Morike, More Krishna Rakhi. If Krishna wants to kill someone, who can save him? If Krishna wants to save someone, who can kill him? And that especially is there with Prahlad Maharaj. It's described that they tried to kill him in so many ways. You know, they tried to throw boulders on him and throw him off a cliff and have an elephant, you know, walk on him and, you know, piercing him and throwing him in boiling ghee. You know, so many ways they tried to kill him, but couldn't. Yeah, throw him in a pit of snakes. Couldn't kill him. Protected. So this is the greatness of Prahlad Maharaj, and we're going to hear these prayers, wonderful prayers. 5 years old, he's 5 years old, and he's going to offer these wonderful prayers to Krishna. So this is something that we can learn from. So is there any question or comment, correction? Yes. Sankarshan Prabhu.
Yeah, I had a correction.
Okay. Corrections are accepted.
Sorry. Now the question is, with Prahlad Maharaj, was it the same situation as Sita? Like his actual body, was that like his other, like how Agnidev kind of like made it like an illusion Sita, or how is it that he was able to withstand all those kind of like beatings?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it's described that he was being pierced, but he wasn't affected by that. And they were throwing this, I just read, they were throwing boulders on him, and he's not affected. So that's a good question. I mean, it's something. Yeah, Lord Chaitanya, it was on his, it's described he was on his back and he was getting the beatings. But we don't hear that about Lord Nrsingadev, that he was being pierced by these, you know, they had these lances there piercing him apparently. Acting, you know, like acting like them. But why would they do that when you're going to act like we're... No, they were supposed to kill him. So if they have the, yeah, it's very interesting. Might have to get that answer when we go back to the spiritual world. Or yeah, I mean, boiling ghee. I mean, you could tell where it's boiling. You throw him in there, and he's not being affected. I mean. He already had a spiritual body, or that can't be mystical maybe, yeah. Just thrown off a cliff. Of course, it's described that he was caught. Krishna caught him. That's described. Krishna caught him. But the others, I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, you can expand the thing to like, all right. It's a fact. We know that yogis, you know, they can get buried, and they suspend the breathing, and they come out, and they actually survive. I mean, they've done tests like that. They can do superhuman things like that. I mean, what does it mean to be able to be lighter than the lightest? And walk, you know, so I think that's part of what, you know, Prahlad he had. He wasn't trying for that.
Maybe he had a spiritual body, and they get pierced, and they go right through. But you know, it's a spiritual body, so you can't harm a spiritual body. So that's one idea. What do you think?
I don't have any contribution on that point.
Okay.
But there was, it looks like that the Chili father, the Sanskrit for it, that is in this verse. It's the Ugra Jate, is Srila Prabhupada's referring to that. And of course, yeah, so Ugra, usually I understood it to be like the very last...
am born in an Asuric family.
Yeah, so Ugra usually is like horrible or intense or extreme or something, but in the Sanskrit dictionary, Ugra can also mean pungent or spicy or, like,
really?
or hot, pungent or hot. So it's like,
Right,
pungent births, hot birth, and like that. That was pretty funny.
Okay.
Jate, chili father.
I think we're all born in chili families also. You were born in an avocado family?
Actually, in Ayurveda, it does recommend that pregnant mothers, they don't eat any pungent foods, any chilies, anything, especially when they're pregnant.
That's right.
So poor Prahlad, I don't know if his...
I tell some of the lady cooks here the Prabhupada statement like that to get them to not put too much chilies in. But they still do. Chili sabji.
Jalapenos and...
Chili nectar, okay. That'd go by good in India.
It actually is nice.
Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Navari, did you have a question, or was that someone else online? Did they want to contribute something? You can go ahead.
Yes, I have a question.
All right. Shoot, go for it. Krishna Vijay, or Vijay Krishna.
Vijaya Krishna, yes.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, do you mind reciting again the last sentence of the purport?
The last sentence of the purport is, unless one is meek and humble, to make progress in spiritual life is very difficult.
Yes, that is the quote. Thank you very much. You're most kind. Dandavat pranams. Prabhu, how do you explain that this being meek and humble stops when it happens for the Lord for the Lord to be offended and for the devotees of the Lord also to be offended? The recommendation is that the Hare Krishna should not tolerate that.
In other words, how does that fit into meek and humble? When you get very angry if the devotee of Krishna being blasphemed.
Yeah, we're supposed to tolerate when people blaspheme us, but when the Lord is blasphemed, we don't tolerate. We don't tolerate. And therefore, Hanuman, he practically destroyed Lanka because of offending Sita. And so the reason this here is there is because Prahlad Maharaj thought himself very humble. Why are you asking me to glorify the Lord? I am from a demoniac family. Why? So he's exhibiting his humility in this verse, and Prabhupada's expanding his humility in the purport. But we don't, if someone blasphemes Krishna, it's described that we either run away, we cut his tongue out, or even it says kill ourselves. It's even take your own life. Yeah, better. So when the Lord is blasphemed, we run away. That's the best thing. Unless you can defeat them, unless they can be defeated. But we don't. Yeah, sometimes there's demoniac people come and harass the devotees during Rath Yatra. You can't run away, so sometimes the devotees beat them up a little bit. Sometimes that happens. Back in, I think, 1968, the devotees, they were attacked at Rath Yatra in San Francisco, so the devotees had to, use their kshatriya abilities. Yeah, physically, yeah, they were attacking the devotees. So yeah, we don't tolerate blaspheming the devotees or Krishna. But this verse is exhibiting the humility of Prahlad, and Prabhupada continues showing the humility and meekness of Prahlad Maharaj. It's okay?
Yes, that is okay, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.